so many today. I think we saw the crowd really get into this one. So when you have that home base behind you, how fun was it to be around that for your team this time around when you see the whole crowd really turn their attention towards the other side?
I mean, I said it yesterday, I say it every time we get an opportunity to compete on home turf, backyard, Coralville or Iowa City and Carver. It's the energy, you know, they love it. I love it, you know, I feel the energy and the support from the fans, and they get to execute what they know and put on the show, no matter the outcome.
Just overall as a team today, what were some of the things you were impressed with, and maybe a couple things you might want to work on throughout the next couple weeks heading into national duels?
Yeah, you know, we knew like today was going to be a grittier day, you know, like the more you go into the competition, the tougher the matches are going to get, you know, and to expect a fight, you know, but not get caught up into the fight. So I thought our women did a good job, like overall trying to make sure they're staying in it. And I think the takeaways to work on are some technical ones that we just got to go back to the drawing board, you know, as far as individually and collectively as a team, you know, how can we capitalize in certain situations and not get caught in like just simple like short offense stuff. I'll give one for example.
What was your message to Kennedy during the kind of long review during her match? It seemed like she really responded coming out of the break and
you know, she's a professional, right? Athlete. And you know, I think there's no bigger stage than being on the Olympic stage. So she's prepared mentally, you know, for things like this to happen, whether it was a hard, heavy fight, you know, I mean, it's heavy pressure, and, you know, a situation like that's questionable, you know, is like being confident that in her position, right? You know, it was reminding her that was her 4-point takedown. She stayed true and held the legs, held control of that no matter what, 4 points is on board for her, right? And whatever happens, whatever the score ends up, she's going to wrestle anyways, right? Like, she's going to come after you, and you're going to have to bring yourself to her, so not to wrestle her. She's great. She's a competitor. She was ready for it.
For someone like Cadence to come in, you know, she's like a hard fight, like neck and neck the entire way, and then like 7-6 seconds left, she gets that crowd erupts. She gets that has to be a good feeling for her, but as a coach, you see her putting the work in, and to prevail like that, you just talked about staying in and finding a way to pull through.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
You know, Cadence is a freshman, true freshman, you know, and it was a great opportunity for her to like step in and compete in the finals and show what she's capable of. And it was really cool coaching her in the corner because she made mid-adjustments, like just little adjustments from 30-second break, technical adjustments that she brought to the match in the second period. So, and you know, her fight, her will, it's, you know, she has this, I guess, kind of quiet way of her that she's like almost like a silent, hard worker assassin, you know, like she's just gonna keep plugging, keep working, and is never giving up for her. So that was really fun to see and exciting for her to get that outcome today.
Yeah, you talked about the adjustments right now, and you touched on it a little bit, but like dive into that a little more. What exactly were you telling her, or anybody? What were you guys telling her, and what exactly did she change going into each period?
Oh, you know, it's technical, right? Like in those moments where maybe she's getting stopped in certain things because of like she can't clear the ties or whatnot, you know, or how to adjust, you know, how she got scored off of, and that, you know, like she's thinking getting a go behind, but yet she's getting caught in the dump, you know, so like positionally how to adjust from that, you know. But other than that, making sure that she's wrestling her best, what she's got, putting that onto her opponent, and that's what she needed to, you know, like shut it down. So.
At 110 pounds, I mean, you have, we talked about it, I think, at the last home event where you have 3 wrestlers who are all really competitive. So what do you take away from them at the Soldier Salute where you get a couple of head-to-heads, and how much do you kind of weigh that going forward when you have to make decisions come March?
Yeah, you know, it's great because it's, you know, they're putting it out there on the competition that it's different from in the wrestling room, you know. It's like, this is competition. This is all the feelings of what you go through when you go out there and try to execute what you do on the competition mat. So it was great to see that those matchups in a competition setting, personally. And at the end of the day, it's always continuing to work on what they need to work on to level each other up.
Going back to cages, you guys obviously had some good performances in the 24 to 38 pound range. You're also missing, seems like, quite a few. What is the overall status of kind of 24 through 38 as you guys head into national duels here in 10 days?
Yeah, just keeping and staying healthy and getting healthy in those weight classes, and just continue to develop them. I feel like I sound like a broken record when we just want to continue to get better, and that's what we tell them, like this is how we finish off 2024, 2025 is right around the corner, and what this tournament told us is we got work to do, There's no sitting back on any of our performances. There's a lot of great takeaways, like a lot of great things that had happened, but there's a lot of things that we can continue to grow in.
Kylie Welker talked about at Media Day how she took the summer kind of a little personally for her for not making that Olympic team and how she wasn't going to get in her own way again. This year it just feels like she has kind of been a little more unrelenting in her effort. Is that something you have seen on the mat, here in the in the practice room?
Absolutely. Anytime you have those experiences you're going through, and what she went through was a heartbreak, right? Like not making that Olympic team and, just getting back on it and having that drive to continue to get back in it and do it again and try go for the next one, right? So I feel like that would be her no matter what. If she made the team or didn't make the team, she would be here today competing at Soldier Salute because that's who she is. She loves wrestling and she wants to just get better. So that's awesome.
It might get lost given the final at 145, but I want to ask about Reese in the semis against McBride. It seemed like that was a match unlike any of the previous three that they've had. What did you see from her? And it felt watching like that might have been some of the best wrestling she's done. What did you see from your perspective?
A lot of growth. Reese has made a lot of growth in the last 2 or 3 years. Just personal growth on the mat, that comes from experience, right? I remember last year at Soldier Salute, that was a wild match, right? A high scoring 20-22 was a score. It's like 40 points on the board. And this time, Reese shut her down, right? And, when you step on a mat against someone you've previously wrestled, you can't wrestle what has happened in the past. It's a new day. It's a new, opportunity for either of them to put it on each other. So Reese did a great job altering it. So it was fun to watch her compete at Soldier Salute and see her growth and the things that she's been working on. And not just technically, right? There's so many tactical things that she enjoys about the game.
How often do her and Kitsy go live in the ring, or is this kind of the first time the two of them really getting after it?
They go live in their own. I'll say her, Kennedy, and Kylie. Macy, Kylie, Reese. Kennedy. They're making each other better. And they all understand that, and I'm grateful for that because that's what we want, right? They want that college national title, but they also want world and Olympic, and they know that they're gonna make each other better. That is something that in my generation in the U.S. that I had to wrestle the best in my weight class to get to where I am. They made me who I was, right? They're making each other who they are. Because they can get caught, being the best in the room and not being challenged, then they get to make adjustments all the time because they have each other to challenge.
Last question.
Speaking of challenges, you guys in life have now, I don't know if you thought it would turn into something like this, but the last couple of years, it's been a really competitive field. What have they brought out of your team and your wrestlers, and what have they brought out of you yourself and your coaching staff?
No, that's a great question because, everyone looks at Iowa because of where we're at, in the sphere of college athletics. Life is tough, there's so many tough teams out there. North Central, Grand Valley State, new program, making themselves girls know, you know, there's a lot of great female wrestlers across the country, and they're going somewhere, right? And we're at a roster cap for next year, so that's great what Coach Ashley and Christian Slavens are doing, is great what they're doing down in Atlanta or Marietta, because they're bringing a lot of energy to the sport. Their team, you feel it, you hear it. They're gritty, they fight, you know. They don't go down like for anything. So it no different than in the room. It raises women's wrestling in the U.S. at the collegiate level, and they make us better. You know, so I'm grateful that they're here at Soldier Salute. You know, and yeah, it's good. You know, to have that competitive